Good morning, Daniel. You look unusually energized today. Did something good happen, or did you finally manage to get a full night of sleep? I know you've been complaining about your busy schedule lately, juggling work deadlines and family responsibilities. It's honestly refreshing to see you this relaxed, because the last time we talked, you seemed overwhelmed with everything happening around you.
Good morning, Sarah. You're actually right. I finally managed to sleep early last night, which rarely happens. I realized that staying up late scrolling through my phone was draining my energy, so I decided to put it away and read a book instead. It felt strange at first, but I woke up feeling much clearer mentally. I think sometimes we underestimate how much small habits affect our daily productivity and mood.
That makes a lot of sense. I've been struggling with the same habit, especially after work when I just want to relax, but end up wasting hours online. I always plan to exercise or cook something healthy, but then I lose track of time. It's frustrating, because I know those healthier choices would make me feel better in the long run. I guess self-discipline is something most people have to constantly work on.
Absolutely, and I've realized that discipline isn't about forcing yourself harshly but about creating small routines that feel manageable. For example, I started preparing my meals the night before instead of rushing in the morning. It saves me time and reduces stress. Plus, it helps me avoid buying unhealthy food during lunch breaks, which used to be my biggest weakness when I felt too tired to think about nutrition.
That's actually a great idea. Meal preparation sounds simple, but it probably requires planning and consistency. I usually decide what to eat at the last minute, which leads me to order fast food most of the time. I've been wanting to improve my diet, because I noticed my energy levels drop in the afternoon, especially after eating heavy meals. Maybe preparing food in advance could help me stay more focused during work hours.
It definitely helps, and it also saves money, which is another major advantage. I used to spend a surprising amount on takeout without realizing it. Once I started tracking my expenses, I noticed how small daily purchases added up quickly. Now I try to budget carefully, not because I want to limit myself, but because I want to feel more secure financially in the future.
Financial security is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. With rising living costs, it feels important to manage money wisely, but it can also feel stressful. I sometimes worry about saving enough while still enjoying life. I don't want to become overly cautious and forget to appreciate the present, but I also don't want to be careless and regret it later. Finding that balance seems challenging for most people.
I completely understand that concern. I think balance comes from setting realistic financial goals rather than extreme restrictions. For example, I created a monthly plan where I divide my income into savings, necessities, and personal enjoyment. That way, I don't feel guilty when I spend money on something I enjoy because I know it's already part of my budget. It also gives me peace of mind knowing I'm still preparing for unexpected expenses or future investments.
That sounds like a very structured approach, and honestly, I admire that level of organization. I've tried budgeting before, but I usually give up after a few weeks, because I find it difficult to stick to strict numbers. Sometimes unexpected social events or emergencies come up, and everything gets disrupted. I think I need a system that feels flexible, but still helps me stay responsible with my spending habits.
Flexibility is definitely important. Life rarely follows perfect plans, and budgets should adapt to reality instead of becoming a source of frustration. One thing that helped me was using simple tracking instead of complicated financial spreadsheets. I just write down my daily expenses in a notebook or phone app. Over time, it helped me become more aware of my spending patterns, which naturally encouraged me to make better choices without feeling pressured.
That approach sounds less overwhelming. Sometimes I think we try to make improvement too complicated, which discourages consistency. Speaking of improvement, I've been trying to develop better time management skills lately. I feel like my days disappear quickly, and by evening, I realize I haven't accomplished half of what I planned. Do you ever feel like time moves faster as responsibilities increase?
All the time. I've noticed that the busier life becomes, the more important it is to prioritize tasks realistically. I used to create long to-do lists that were impossible to complete, which only made me feel discouraged. Now I focus on identifying 3 or 4 important tasks each day. Once those are completed, I consider the day productive. It reduces pressure and allows me to stay motivated instead of feeling constantly behind schedule.
That's actually a smart strategy. I often overload myself with unrealistic expectations, thinking that productivity means doing everything at once. Maybe focusing on fewer tasks would help me work more efficiently. I've also been trying to reduce stress by spending more time outdoors. Recently, I started taking evening walks, and I noticed it helps me clear my mind and reflect on my day in a peaceful way.
Outdoor activities can have a powerful effect on mental health. I've started cycling on weekends, and it's become one of my favorite ways to relax. It gives me a break from technology and work-related thoughts. I also find that physical activity improves my mood and helps me think more creatively. Sometimes stepping away from daily pressures is exactly what we need to regain focus and energy.
That's very true. I've noticed that when I give myself time to relax and disconnect, I return to my responsibilities feeling more motivated. I think modern life encourages people to stay constantly busy, which can make rest feel unproductive. However, I'm starting to realize that rest is actually necessary for maintaining long-term efficiency and emotional stability. Without it, burnout becomes almost unavoidable.
I completely agree. Burnout can happen gradually without people noticing until it begins affecting their health and relationships. I've seen colleagues become exhausted because they ignored early signs of stress. That experience taught me the importance of setting boundaries between work and personal life. Even simple actions like avoiding work emails after certain hours can protect mental well-being and improve overall happiness.
Setting boundaries is something I'm still learning to do, especially because I like helping others and sometimes take on more responsibilities than I should. I've realized that constantly saying yes can lead to feeling overwhelmed. Recently, I've been practicing politely declining tasks when I know my schedule is already full. It feels uncomfortable sometimes, but it also helps me maintain balance and avoid unnecessary pressure.
That's a valuable skill to develop. Learning to say no respectfully shows self-awareness and confidence. People often respect boundaries when they are communicated honestly and calmly. I've also learned that maintaining strong relationships doesn't require constant availability. Instead, it's about being present and genuine when you do spend time with others, whether it's with friends, family, or colleagues.
That perspective is reassuring. I've been trying to focus more on meaningful connections rather than simply staying busy socially. For example, I recently started organizing small gatherings with close friends where we talk about life, goals, and challenges. Those conversations feel much more fulfilling than attending large social events where meaningful interaction is limited. It reminds me that quality often matters more than quantity.
I think that's a wonderful approach. Meaningful conversations and supportive relationships play a major role in overall life satisfaction. At the end of the day, everyday routines, healthy habits, financial responsibility, and strong relationships all contribute to a balanced life. None of these things are perfected overnight, but small consistent improvements can lead to significant positive changes over time. I believe that focusing on progress rather than perfection is the most sustainable way to grow.